I'm Jesse McQuarters, branded content editor for Stat, and I'm joined by Robert Salcedo, CEO of OcyonBio, a partnership development and manufacturing organization in Puerto Rico focused on advanced cell and gene therapies. Robert, what role does OcyonBio play in advancing your field?
We're the very first incubator in Puerto Rico. So we have a large center that would allow gene cell therapy companies, biotechs, viral vector companies, and AI discovery companies to land in Puerto Rico. We're building a large footprint that will enable up to 50 companies to land here. And it's the first one of its kind, not only in Puerto Rico, it's the first one of its kind in the Caribbean.
What are some of the cutting edge technologies and infrastructure that set OcyonBio apart?
We believe that AI discovery is going to create an immense requirement for wet labs. So we're building modular wet labs that are ready to go. So basically either a person invents it or it comes from AI. That invention can be delivered to us digitally. We can transform that digital concept, we call a digital twin, into a physical twin. So that's the key one. We're using AI and also our systems to integrate all the data that the regulatory agencies need. And we accumulate the data real time, which means that when the experiment is completed, the regulatory component is completed, which that can take months and sometimes years to complete. So that's a key innovation. And finally, the last innovation is that we build spaces we call white boxes that can be configured to fit your process. And we provide what we call interconnected infrastructure, HR, logistics, warehousing, transportation, cold storage, all the things that we call meats and potatoes. And we can let the companies protect their IP. So that makes us pretty unique across the world.
If you had to name market differentiators for OcyonBio, what sets it apart from all your competitors?
I think two things. We always lead with quality, right? Quality will be the number one item. Every organization will say that. So let's say that's not a tiebreaker that's playing in the same even field. But I think the other one is that everybody who comes to Puerto Rico also gets the opportunity to apply for the incentives. So they will be able to get up to 50% of discount on their budgets that could be used for operating costs, purchasing the raw material, construction, clinical studies, research. A typical project would be around 60% of the competitor pricing when we're done. And it could be as low as 30% depending on the profile of the client. If they're buying many pieces of equipment, the actual Puerto Rico incentives become even more powerful.
Tell me a little bit about how your presence on the island amplifies your mission. What motivated your company to establish your facility in Puerto Rico?
A key component of being in Puerto Rico is the workforce. Puerto Rico speaks three languages. They speak Spanish, English, and CGMPs. Where I'm located physically, the top university is called University of Mayo West, is about 25-minute drive. There's three other universities that are within, I would say, 10-minute drive from me. And these three universities alone graduate about 8,000 STEM students a year. That opportunity allows us to go pick the best of the best. For example, my hiring plan is to add 300 people in the next 2.5 years here. And 75% will come directly from that pool. And the other ones will come from the local pharmaceutical industry that sits here, which has over 200,000 people.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about shipping logistics. Where does OcyonBio typically ship to? And how does Puerto Rico's location support that?
With the 60 years of pharmaceutical experience, cold chain is meats and potatoes here, and shipping is meats and potatoes. And one of the reasons we co-located in Aguadilla is because the main airport that ships cold chain to all over the world is exactly 8 miles from my facility. What that means is that I'm able to take a gene and cell therapy product from my facility. It could be on a plane in 15 minutes. It could be any part of the US in 34 hours.
You're talking about running companies that are very dependent on power, on infrastructure. How practical is that in Puerto Rico?
When you think about betting your own company by taking it from wherever you are to Puerto Rico, the first questions that are typically asked, first is hurricane. So when we look at hurricane relative to the pharmaceutical spaces and the spaces that we're talking about, just like if you were in San Francisco, I'll be building facilities to support the earthquakes that will come. In the same manner, we built facilities that support and protect us against hurricanes. So our facilities are designed for 200 miles an hour wind. They will have backup generators, they have UPS, or the data is backed up locally, backed up on the web, multiple backups. So if we talk about Maria, which was the most devastating hurricane that has hit the Western Hemisphere, all the pharmaceutical companies were up and running during the hurricane. And within 48 hours, they were shipping product to the outside of Puerto Rico. That's incredible. Why? You design it to make sure your company can continue to do business, can continue to supply, and continue to operate. The next one is power, which is interesting because that's one that's very difficult to design around because power is dependent on all these external sources. We have backup generators, we have solar, and we have, in some cases, secondary power that we self-make for our own business. So 3-level redundancy. You have to manage all these risks, just like you manage the risk in California. And all the businesses develop and design their business with the understanding that these risks exist around us. And they keep performing because they know these things are going to happen. Puerto Rico is the same.
What's the most rewarding aspect of fostering innovation in Puerto Rico's biotech sector?
For me, our mission is to provide affordable medicines to the world. The combination of the incentives in Puerto Rico, people, as I mentioned earlier, and lifestyle in Puerto Rico makes it a place that creates the energy that our company needs to deliver on its promise.
Robert Salcedo, CEO of OcyonBio, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. I appreciate it.
Appreciate your time.
To explore how OcyonBio and Puerto Rico are shaping the future of life sciences, visit investpr.org.